Hey guys, I'm Richard Epting. Welcome back to the grind. I've gotten a ton of emails and people have called me and they're like, Richard, I want to get started into leathercraft. Which direction do I go? What do I need to buy? I don't have a lot of money. So I decided to shoot a short video of some of the really basic tools that you need to buy to get started. It's one thing about leathercraft is it doesn't take a lot of money to get started. It's one of the cheaper hobbies that you can get into. Tandy's stores are around the country. They're online. Tandy's is a great resource for starting out. They've got cheaper tools. Springfield Leather is another source as well. They're a good company. Weaver Leather as well is a very good company. So any of those, Tandy has a lot of stores all over the U.S. Springfield Leather just has one store in Missouri, and Weaver Leather just has the one store, but they all have catalogs and they're all online as well. To get started, so basically these are the few tools. Now there's lots of different grades of tools. You can start out with a Tandy edging tool that runs about $7. You can buy a Barry King custom. These run about $50. Okay, they do the same thing, but the Barry King tools hold an edge a lot longer. They produce a very, very good cut on your edging tools. Any of his tools are fantastic. But look, they're a lot more money. So what you can do is start out cheaply. If you get and you like this hobby a lot, you can upgrade. It's kind of like being a mechanic. You know, once you're a mechanic, you're going to use the best tools possible. Once again, you know, you get what you pay for. But you can get started cheaply. These tools run $7 to $8 a piece at Tandy's. They've got a few more now. Tandy has really started to upgrade and have a little bit more professional series of tools that are a little bit more expensive, and they're really good. So basically what we need to have when we get started is a good pair of shears to cut your leather with. Tandy sells these. Some of the other companies sell these as well. They're great scissors. A pair of scissors. Something to also cut. So you use the scissors for cutting. This little tool is one of my most picked up cutting tool. Tandy's and some of the other stores sell these as well. They have replaceable blades that go inside of them, and you tighten it down, and they're really sharp. They work really great. I love these tools a lot. They run $25, $30, something like that. You can also go to your Home Depot, Lowe's, carpet knives with replaceable blades. They work well too. You know, $10 for something like that. Something that you can cut with. So now we want something to edge our leather with, to round our corners, so we don't have a rough 90-degree corner. So the edgers come in different sizes, and I recommend for starters a number 2 edger. So that's kind of an all-around, anywhere between 4 ounce to 8-9 ounce. The bigger the number, the thicker the leather and the bigger the rounded edge on your leather. And they make a lot of different ones, but this is the basic tools that you need as an edger. So now a groover. So this is an adjustable groover, and what this groover does is it puts a line in your leather below the surface of the leather for you to follow when you're doing your stitching, whether it be hand stitching or machine stitching on a sewing machine. And then you're going to have, it's called an overstitch wheel. So the overstitch wheels come in different numbers. So this is a number 5. That means 5 stitches per inch. So 5 marks per inch. So 5 is kind of the standard that I've always used. They come in different, I've got different ones. But this, once again, the number 5's overstitch wheel is the most used wheel that I use. They also sell some that have replaceable wheels, so you have one tool with the replaceable wheels as well. Then we're going to need a stitching awl and a haft to hold the awl. Now here, I see this happen a lot, is people will go and they'll buy a very cheap $3 or $4 awl. Now, they don't come for $3 or $4. They don't come very sharp. They have to be super sharp. People will say, oh, I'm trying to sew some 1/4 inch leather and I've got some bad leather and I can't sew the leather. Well, it's because you bought an awl and it's not sharp. It does take a long time to get them very sharp. They need to have a very sharp point, and it's polished. And this is a diamond, all right? So you've got 4 different sides on it. And this is a Bob Douglas These are a little bit more expensive. I think they're $25 to $30. I've had this one for a very long time. It's really, really sharp. This is a Barry King all haft, and this is an Osborne from Tandy Leather as well, all haft. They both do the same thing. This was just a little bit fancier. Also, the old school head knife works extremely well. They're a little bit more expensive, but I don't use a head knife as much anymore as I used to. If I'm laying out on my big work table and cutting big pieces, I use this as well. But you can buy this later. They're a little bit higher. You can get by with an X-Acto knife, carpet knife, or one of these as well. Also, a set of dividers. These are used a lot, very cheap as well. And this is going to set our lines where we're going to either do decorative borders, and even on your stitch lines you can use these, and then use one of the non-adjustable type stitching groovers. Sometimes these come in very handy as well. But I'm kind of trying to give you just the basic tools to get in cheaply and be able to start making wallets, holsters, belts, anything in that nature. You can get started. We're probably looking at $100 right here to get started in tools, and then we'll buy leather. I'm going to make another video on choosing leather and explain some of the different leathers that are out there as well, but we'll get onto that in another video. So now, sewing needles. We're going to need to sew our products up as well. So these are the saddle stitching needles that they sell at Tandy's. Also, I buy mine at Hobby Lobby. I really like their needles, and they're like $3 for a pack of 10. They've got a big elongated hole in them, and these guys work really well. Now, they wear out. They break after a while, but they last a good bit. So then if we were going to do some tooling on leather, which we don't have to, but if you want to get started, you don't have to buy and have all these tools. I've collected these tools over my 25 years of doing leather work. You don't have to have all this. You can have just some of the basic tools, a basket weave tool, a border tool. Some of these tools will last you forever if you buy really good tools. These, once again, are Barry King tools. These are about $50 a piece versus a Tandy tool that are $8 or $9. The difference is these are stainless steel. The impressions are deeper, but these will get you by $7, $50. Once again, you know, it's the quality of the tool. They'll last you a lifetime. They're stainless steel. These are chrome plated. And as you get into, some people really dig and get into the whole carving of leather. I'm not a big leather carver at all, and I don't use a lot of the carving tools and the stamping tools. But basically, a good work surface. You'll notice that I've got, this is a big, this was a headstone that I was given by a friend. It's about 4 inches thick. It's got a lot of mass to it. It's really great. You're also going to need some hammers, and so Tandy has some of the cheaper poly hammers. We've got some of the bigger mauls. These are Barry King mauls as well. You don't have to, starting out, to have this many, but one good hammer and one of the poly hammers gets you by. And so now you've got your tools purchased. Now people always ask me, what book should I buy? Tandy Leathers has so many good books out there on leathercraft that Al Stoneman wrote back in the 50s and 60s that are still viable today. They're very inexpensive. The first book that I would tell you to buy is the Al Stoneman How to Sew Leather. This book is $8 or $10. It is full of valuable information on how to saddle stitch, all different types of stitching. The second book I would tell you would be the other leathercraft tools, how to use and how to sharpen. This is another great book that's out there, $10. All the illustrations in here are really good, really concise, super books. So these two books would be the first two books that I would buy. Then they have a lot of others. They have 3 volumes on leather cases, some of these others on belt making. This is tech tips, holster making, a lot of different books. Then if we start going into a little bit more modern book from the 90s, this is Valerie Mitchell, the Leather Working Handbook. This is a little bit more modern book with some
really interesting stuff in here. Good diagrams, good photos, some projects, step-by-step projects, some purses, some wallets, and such. Couple little edging tools for doing your edges. I make mine, and hardwood. This is for slicking your edges. I'll do a video later on edges. I'm going to do a video on hand stitching. Right now, this is basically your hand tools to get you started, to go purchase, and your thread. We can't forget our thread as well. Now, this is a number 5 cord linen thread that I use. This is old school, the way the saddle makers used to always saddle stitch with this. Tandy has several different colors, waxed, unwaxed. You're also going to need some beeswax to wax your edges on your leather, as well as waxing your thread as well. What I like to do is I like to buy the natural, and depending on what I'm making, I can dye it brown, black, or whatever with my leather dye, and that way I just buy one thing and I dye it and wax coat it, and it's ready to go. So basically, right here, this gets us started, and you can go anywhere where you want with this. You can buy more or less, but this will get you started. On one of my other videos, we're going to talk about leather, types of leather, and cost. But thanks for tuning in. Please leave me a comment. If you got any more questions, please feel free to email me. Go check out my Instagram, Richard Epting. Check out eptingknives.com. You can check out my website and some of the stuff that I do. And we're going to get back to the grind. We're going to film some more videos, and thank you for tuning in.